way something is represented in the media has a huge impact on how people perceive it, obviously. And when it comes to things like polyamory, there is a severe lack of adequate positive representation. In this video, I'm going to outline 5 common myths about polyamory, and this is only part 1, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss part 2. All right, let's talk about polyamory. Hi, I'm Leslie, and I am a life coach based here in Brisbane, Australia. I'm also polyamorous. I have a husband, Tony, and another partner, Mateo, who lives overseas. In my coaching, my overarching mission is to help people live more fulfilling lives on their terms, according to their values, and not according to society's arbitrary expectations. One thing I've been helping a lot of clients with recently is understanding and navigating polyamory and other forms of ethical non-monogamy. If you have watched the show You on Netflix, you may have come across this quote from season 3, episode 8. Polyamory, aka swinging, aka the lifestyle, aka a flatlining marriage's dying gasp. No! There is nothing about that statement that is at all accurate. But instead of just rolling my eyes and chalking it up to yet another terrible misrepresentation of polyamory in the media, I decided to put my thoughts to use and put together this little list. Now, this is not an anti-monogamy video, so just chill. If monogamy is your thing, cool, fine. This is a video about polyamory as a relationship style that isn't just a diversion from monogamy. So here we go. Myth number 1. Polyamory equals polygamy equals swinging, etc. These words have completely different meanings. Polygamy involves a person having multiple partners who they are married to. Traditionally, it's a man with multiple wives. That's not the strictest definition of polygamy, but it does differentiate it from polyamory. Swinging, to oversimplify it, is about engaging in sexual encounters, sometimes through swapping or sharing partners, and there's no romantic attachment in most cases. It's just sexual. Polyamory, on the other hand, is about being open to those romantic attachments. These are real, loving relationships that need to be treated as such. They require commitment to various partners and their emotional needs, and they require a lot of communication. You can't make any assumptions in a polyamorous dynamic, or you're just asking for a lot of trouble, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of not great things. Myth number 2. Polyamory is just an excuse for cheating. It's not. It's really not. Cheating happens in a relationship when there is a broken agreement. Generally, in a monogamous relationship, that agreement is that you won't engage in sexual activities with another person, you won't have, romantic emotional exchanges with another person, and you may consider other actions like kissing, for example, could be cheating in monogamy. But with some people they have even stricter parameters around spending time with a person of the sex that they might be attracted to, or there can be a lot of it can be a little different for different couples. So if one of those people does one of those things that they've decided is not cool, yeah, that's cheating. But when two people have a clear agreement that they support each other in having relationships with other partners, that doesn't mean they're cheating on each other, because they have an agreement. Furthermore, people who practice ethical non-monogamy have no interest in breaking up someone else's relationship. I honestly can't even tell you the number of times I've been contacted on dating apps and such by dudes who have these kind of anonymous profiles, and they'll ask me for discreet fun because they're already in a monogamous relationship. First of all, that's not monogamy, that's cheating. And secondly, I have no interest in helping you cheat on your partner. Like, I have a moral compass, and every polyamorous person I know feels the same way. It's like, that's just, ew. No, not okay. Myth number 3. Polyamorous people just don't love their partners as much as monogamous people do. Otherwise, they wouldn't need anyone else. Firstly, a lot of polyamorous people don't even have partners officially. They might practice what is sometimes called solo polyamory. But that aside, being monogamous does not in any way suggest that your capacity to love someone is somehow higher than a polyamorous person's. And speaking for myself, it's quite the opposite. I have a huge capacity to love, romantically and otherwise. I love my husband dearly. He's my life partner. He's the one I've built a life with and raising a child with. Like, you know, I love him. I'm gonna love him forever. I also love Mateo. It might be a slightly different flavor of love, but Mateo and I still want to create things in this world together. We still have similar hopes and dreams for the future of society, for the future of, government and politics and all of these things. And he actually has a family of his own. He has a partner he's married to, who he has a child with, and by extension, they're kind of like my little bonus family. And none of that takes away from the love I have for my husband. If anything, it makes it stronger. Like, when I'm feeling all sparkly inside because I've just had a great chat with Mateo, or I've come home from an awesome date, Tony and I, we get to share in that excitement. We love each other. We don't own each other. We support each other's pursuit of happiness in all forms, with the recognition that we only have one life that we get to live. We have a degree of personal autonomy that we respect in each other. That is what love means to us. Myth number 4. Polyamorous people don't get jealous. Polyamory is not some super enlightened form of existence where everyone can just live, laugh, love their way through all of these romantic relationships with a bunch of different partners without any emotional consequences. It's just not. Jealousy is a natural human response. That said, it's also not a measure of true love. So just because someone in a monogamous relationship is really jealous when they feel like their relationship is threatened, that doesn't mean they love them more. There is such a thing as toxic monogamy, and one aspect of toxic monogamy is responses that people have to their own feelings of jealousy that are actually really destructive, but for some reason, because it's in a monogamous context, it's more accepted by society in general. But that's a whole other video. Some polyamorous people experience what is called compersion, or a sense of joy, like an empathetic joy when their partner is happy with someone else, when they're happily bonded with someone who excites them. That can be a beautiful thing to witness. But not all polyamorous people, feel that way a lot of the time. Everyone is different. So if you do practice polyamory, or you are interested in exploring polyamory, but you do have jealousy concerns, that doesn't mean that you're not suited for polyamory or that you're doing poly wrong. It just means you may have some things to work through in terms of your own insecurities. Jealousy is a teacher. It can show you what you feel you may be lacking, and when you really look into it that way, it can actually spark some really important changes in your own behavior or the way you communicate in your relationships. And that can actually be a really good thing in some cases. I'm not saying that jealousy is a great feeling that you should go after all the time, but it's not the be-all and end-all of your own well-being or your relationship. It's just one tiny aspect of human existence. Oh gosh, I have to hydrate for this one. Myth number 5. Polyamorous people are promiscuous and predatory. There are plenty of polyamorous people who don't have very much sex at all. Sometimes none. They may be asexual, or they might just have a really low sex drive. And this needs to be said over and over and over again. Polyamory is not just about sex. In regards to the predatory aspect, no. If someone is, engages in predatory behavior, it's because they are predatory themselves, whether or not they're polyamorous. In polyam communities, there's a very heavy focus on consent and ethics. Some polyamorous people like to have lots of sex with a bunch of different people, but there are also plenty who really don't have any interest in those kinds of activities. But it is funny, sometimes when I reveal to someone that I am polyamorous, it's like I have to kind of reassure them sometimes that it doesn't mean that I'm after them or their boyfriend, their husband, their partner, whoever. Like, I'm not just this raw nerve of libido just on the prowl all the time. That's very much not who I am. I'm actually very, very discerning. I also only date other polyamorous people. There are some people who are open to dating people who are monogamous but they're single. But for me, that's just not really my thing. The thing that I love most about polyamory is how deeply bonded I can become with people on an emotional level, whether or not that leads to a romantic relationship. I have some very close platonic friendships that I would not have been able to develop if I had all these concerns about these arbitrary barriers that were in place that, to avoid crossing a line into something more than friendship with other polyamorous people. And that's something that monogamous people are really missing out on, I think. Being able to act on those friend crushes you might have. you meet someone at work, or you meet someone somewhere else, and you're like, I really think this person is super cool, and I would love to be able to go out for lunch with this person, to go have coffee with this person, to see this person socially, not necessarily for sexual reasons, but just because you enjoy being in each other's space. Like, that is a thing. That is possible. That is a thing that I have enjoyed a lot in my life, and I look forward to having it more in my life. And there is a certain beauty when you get to bond with someone in a way that is natural to the two of you. You know, when you're just talking about two people. To be able to find your natural landing place with someone with no expectation of sex, with no assumptions that there's going to be that kind of interaction. To be able to say to someone like, look, you are my friend. This is, this, and this. These are the things that I value in you. And if that's all that we are to each other, that is okay. Friendships do not need to take a back seat to romantic relationships. Now imagine what kind of world we could live in if everyone had that option to do that comfortably. This isn't me pushing some polyamorous agenda. I'm just saying, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, maybe you don't know what you're missing, and it's for you to decide what to do about that. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting pretty, enjoying my life. All right, so I will end part 1 there. In part 2, I will outline a few more myths about polyamory. And if there are any that you really want me to address, send me a message. If you're considering diving into the world of polyamory, or you're a monogamous person who is thinking of dating a polyamorous person, send me your questions here or on my socials, via email. Plenty of ways to get in touch with me. Now, there is no one single correct way to do polyamory, which is one reason it's good to have someone like me, who is a coach in these things, to help you navigate your relationships and the communication issues involved in a way that is unique to your context. So if you need that kind of support, you know where to find me. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it with someone else who can benefit from it. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell so you know exactly when I've uploaded a new video. You can also book a free life coaching session with me through my website, leslievcoaching.com, and we can work together online or right here in my studio. Follow me on my socials to keep up with what I'm doing, and please get in touch with any questions, comments, or video ideas you may have. I'm Leslie V, and I'll see you in the next video.